Yes, we're live. Welcome back. Forgot to put the music. How we doing? Today's going to be an amazing show. Got three incredible films to show you guys. Unique ones. Very, very unique in their specifics. Subgenres. I got some bad news, but that will come later. That's mostly has to do with the movies I was supposed to cover, but we'll do that tomorrow and in the coming days. But here are the ones we are going to cover. We're talking Friday Night Lights, a football film from like way back. I'll tell you why I'm going to cover it when I do. Sound of Violence. This is the new hotness. Not really, because it's a smaller film. To find these, you need to be lucky or come upon it. And so yeah, very small indie horror film. But like I said, these next two, this one and the next one, are extremely unique. And there's nothing less unique than horror films. Horror films, that's why people are harsh on them. That's why most of the scores are lower than any other genre in anything, which is pretty crazy. Because we are so used to seeing the same things. No matter how good that thing is, we're going to look badly upon it because it's another possession story, another slasher film, another haunted house. You know what I mean? It's always the same tropes. So when you have a unique one, you have to, we have to celebrate that. It's very important. So yeah, Sound of Violence. I will talk about it very, very soon. That'll be the first one I talk about. And lastly, and not the least, songs my brothers taught me. This is Chloe Zhao's first film. She only did 3 films, one of which won the Best Picture and Best Director this year, being Nomadland. This is her first film, and it's about natives. I'm half native, so not only is it representation, but it's also, you have no idea how much this movie is like that life. I wish it was called Res Life. So we'll get into it. We'll watch the trailers for most. But, so yeah, without further ado, first of all is Sound of Violence again. Gotta get into. I'll do the graffiti because it's the only one I will not show you a trailer for because of spoilers. There's only one trailer that exists and it spoils like most everything. And so that's pretty much the main reason. I don't watch trailers in general. So unless it's bad, I usually try not to show them to you guys. So graffiti it is. But yeah, Sound of Violence is explicitly the title. It's also called Conductor. So it goes by both titles. Sound of Violence seems like the official final one. But if you can't find it, it would be called Conductor. So it's a horror movie about music, right? Of course. And Sound of Metal, the movie Sound of Metal, was my favorite film of 2020, of this last year. To me, it was better than Nomadland. It should have won Best Picture. Give Best Director to Chloe Zhao, though, of course. But, so this one has that, right? That was Sound of Metal, the award, the Oscar-nominated film. This is Sound of Violence, a horror film, which, in the same way, explores horror through the visual, the soundscape, which is mostly done through the main character being a musician. So if you're a musician, or you love horror, you know what I mean? This is both of those worlds. Music, horror, go in. You have to. You don't have to, of course, but because it's so unique, and there's no other movies I can compare to. And all I will say, because again, I do not want to spoil the least, which by the way, every horror sequence, right? When a slasher kills somebody, or when there's like a trap in a Saw film, those are the big set pieces, in the same way a car explosion or a chase would be in an action film. And those are what make the movie so good, okay? Because the other parts, the dialogue, sometimes the acting, the general plot are bad. Straight up, okay? But it's an hour and a half, so it's short, so you can suffer through the bad parts to get to the good stuff, which is the horror, which is what you're there for. In the same way, Godzilla vs. Kong is a bad film, technically. When Godzilla and King Kong are fighting, it's freaking amazing. It's exactly what you want. And in this case, it's the same. And again, the criticisms stand, okay? Very important. That's Sound of Metal. And the only thing I'll say, just to get you in, it's about a girl. That's all I'll say, but even then, you know what I mean? It's a girl who gets off on the sound of violence. That's it. That's all I'll say. That's all you need, really. So again, if you love music and you love this, if you love horror, then it's must watch. I give it an 8, okay? Because again, the flaws are huge. The flaws being, the dialogue, everything surrounding the horror. If you're there for the horror, and you're there for the music and that aspect of it, it shines. And this score is scary. If I were just going by this score, I would not have watched it. But it got a passing grade here, and I was feeling it that night, right? It's still horror week because A Quiet Place Part 2 got pushed back here in Canada, so I have not seen it, or else I would have saw it day one. I would have covered it day one, so that's coming this Friday. So instead I watched this just on the spur of the moment thing, and I was deeply rewarded, and I would not have if it did not have a passing grade. So there you have it. Sound of Violence. For sure worth seeing, especially if you're a horror fan and a musician. So here we go. Next two. Okay, let's do this because it's more important. So again, Chloe Zhao, Best Director of the Year. Not by me, but literally by consensus of filmmakers, which constitutes the Oscars. That's what they are. It's actors, filmmakers that have made it before are the ones that vote. So if you're going to win Best Director, it's your peers, it's other directors acknowledging that fact. And same thing with me, I acknowledge that fact. I would not have given it Best Film because just overall I felt like Judas and the Black Messiah and Sound of Metal were both better as films as a whole. But I cannot deny her expertise. And again, we're talking unique films here. Chloe Zhao is unique of herself because she has a documentary style going in deep into these people's lives. It's less a movie about plot, it is a movie about a lifestyle. And now there's 3 of them. So you have, of course, Nomadland, which is all about, obviously, the life of nomads, straight up. And it's the only movie of hers that has an actual actor. Usually it is real people that she just happens to film. And yes, they're given lines sometimes, and of course some scenes are set up. But most of it is extremely real. So yeah, this makes it more accessible. So people, no Francis, they jump in because they have a face they can relate to. But otherwise, it's all unknowns. It's all real people. So yeah, Nomads, right? The Rider is about bull riders. It's the movie she did right before. It was in my top 10 of 2017 in a video, straight up. All about bull riding and the dangers. And it's pretty much a bull rider who has to accept that he can't do it anymore after a really bad injury. It's rough stuff, but again, it shows you the lifestyle. It shows you why it's so important to them. You know what I mean? Because bull riding, from an outside's perspective, is borderline ridiculous. In the same way, shitting in a bucket and living in a van is somewhat ridiculous. But these people do it, you know, for different reasons. And you get to see those reasons. And it's never more real than these films, because it's real people. Again, I gotta harp on that fact to get into the one I've seen, which is, again, Songs My Brother Taught Me, which is her first film. Or first of 3. And this should be called Res Life, R-E-Z Life, which is reservation life. Reservations are what we call the cities
I want to see what's out there.
We native people live in.
Go travel all over.
This shows you the dark side and the good side of it, but mostly the dark side, which is, you know, rampant alcoholism, a black hole type situation where it feels like you can't leave. Leaving the reservation is seemingly impossible to a lot of them, especially people that grew up there. I went there as an adult. I lived there for over 7 years, and I did visit as a child, but I never grew up there, so it's a different connection. I'm technically kind of an outsider, but I saw this life. I was part of this life. I got siblings that are a lot like the characters in this film, good or bad. And the 2 main characters are kids. It's the only one of her films that has kids in the main roles. So you got the main boy, who's 17, right? Getting ready to leave the reservation. And you got his little sister, who is 9 years old. No, sorry, 11, my bad. 11 years old. And it's her learning to grow up and connecting with her extended family, and how those people imprint on her specific morals and lifestyles, and you know what I mean? And hell, the main boy is like a bootlegger, so it shows you the bad side of it. But and it would be, man, because as a native, it hurts to watch because it shows you the realness of it all, especially the bad. By the way, bull riding plays a small part in this, I love, but it also shows the culture and like the hunting and the stuff we romanticize is touched upon here, right? The hunting, the community aspect, but it's mostly about the real aspect, which is that sense of being stuck there and the lifestyle being rough, you know, just to begin with, because of violence or because of large families. Hell, these characters don't have their father because that father has over 25 kids with like 8 different mothers. To be honest, that part was pretty. It seemed exaggerated, but I could see it happening. But it just goes to show, you know.
Yeah.
So, again, all these 3 films tackle something extremely specific, but in such a way that makes them understandable from the outside. It is. That's why she won Best Director. That's why they all gave it to her unanimously to win. Not unanimously, but to win, of course, which is a hard competition. You know what I mean? There's only so many Best Directors, period. There's only one every year, right? So this is the trailer for the writer. So pretty much, and final score here is a hard 9 out of 10 because I related so much, and it's a perfect portrayal of what real native life is. And I come from the north. This is from like in the middle of the U.S. Same thing, man. We're all in the same boat. So that means all 3 of her films are a 9 out of 10 from my opinion. Now that only says that she has yet to do her masterpiece, which by the way could be Eternals, which would be insane. Her next film is Marvel The Eternals. And if you were to tell me after watching Nomadland, after watching the writer, that this director, this woman, would direct a Marvel film, I would not believe you, because it's so far away from her style. It makes no sense. But again, the Eternals would not exist without her going there with her cred, not even her Oscar, her cred, and be like, look, I can do a Marvel film. I could make it with the least amount of special effects possible. I could make it look like this. She had like a show reel of how beautiful things can be, and she sold them on it. You know what I mean? I'm not sure this movie would exist without her. So I'm extremely excited about it. And these 3 movies being equal, meaning just go with the subject that interests you the most, because that's all you're going to get in the best way possible. Of course, watch all 3 if you can, whatever. But if you want to know about native life, the reservation life, go with this one. Songs My Brother Taught Me. If you want to know about bull riding, it's dangerous stuff, man. It's scary stuff. Cowboys, real life cowboys that live today. Watch The Writer. And if you want to know about nomads, people that live in vans, that travel across the world, getting odd jobs here and there, shitting in buckets, etc., etc. Watch Nomadland. It's that simple. And once you watch one, you'll probably want to see the others if you're curious. And if not, that's completely fine, because I could see people seeing these films as boring because there's not much plot. There is a objective, if you will. You know where they're going in terms of ending. But how you get there, it's all about the journey. It's all about the people. And it's all about knowing that lifestyle. So that's why Chloe Zhao won Best Director. And that's why Nomadland won Best Movie. It's really that simple. Sorry, I went to a rant there, but dude, you know what I mean? I had to talk about Chloe Zhao at least a little bit. And finally, this movie, which I'm not going to talk about much, but it is extremely unique in its own genre, which is sports film. I want to talk about the experience of seeing this movie. I saw it in theaters, or else I wouldn't be talking about it, or else I wouldn't have seen it, period. For a weird reason, they're having like a 1 week only sports films. And so there's one every day. So I went to go see this one, $5. Nobody in the room. I'm in a full theater of 200 seats. Not a single other person. It's a truly special experience. It kind of makes me sad, but also it's because of they didn't put it out there. I got lucky to see it because I got it right here on my tabs. Boom. I got the schedule of my whole city. And I look at this every week so I don't miss nothing. It's funny because people have schedules, right? People have schedules around their life. Not their life, sorry. They schedule their life around their relationships, their family, their work, or other obligations. I'm lucky enough that I do not have much obligations. I do work, of course. Main point is, my schedule is arranged around the limited availability of certain films in theaters. Literally. That is my life. So I look at it every week, and I'm like, okay, look, Friday Night Lights, Spring Friday night. That's it. That's what I'm doing Friday night. It's that simple. Because it's never going to play again. Oops, sorry, I'm spitting at the camera. But Friday Night Lights will never be shown in a theater again unless somebody again later on does this, like a week of sports films. Specifically, for this to even have a chance to get back in. So that's why these are can't miss. And plus, if they're great movies that I have not seen, like this one, again, by consensus, by scores, then... I feel like I'm missing out. I lost my point there in the middle of it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to set that up. And the next day, I saw 42, which is Chadwick Boseman's, one of his best films. critically, where he plays Jackie Robinson, a real-life baseball player who was the first black baseball player on a white team. I would have reviewed it, but I only saw the first half because I'm seeing the second half Thursday, again scheduled around as such. I scheduled where I'm like, okay, look, I can watch half this day, half the other day. It's crazy, man. But like I said, it's good life, especially when I'm sitting alone. You know what I mean? In a theater where, yes, it's sad that I wish other people could see it. Like if I played on a football team, I would force all my football team to go see this film because it's a one chance only. The film itself, not much to talk about because I don't care about football. But I said it would be very unique. And the reason it's unique is I've never seen a movie with this visual style, which is all close-ups. But sorry for the quality here, it's garbage because I could not find a better trailer. That's how old this movie is, 2004, it's not that old. But there's no HD version of this trailer on YouTube, ridiculous. Anyway, all close-ups. And I'm not kidding about that. Literally every shot, I could not believe it. And look here, they're showing they're trying to show the only shots that are not, where like setting up stadiums or whatever. But seriously, everything is zoomed in, all up in your face, and in that way it's very aggressive. But the reason the film is great is that it's not about the football. It's about the lifestyle of Heartland USA football, which in this case is Texas. And, the pressures of that. The pressure of the town, the pressure of your family, the pressure of the state. Because football is everything to them. It's crazy for us to think that don't care about football, that don't live in those countries. But it's not like, you know what I mean? The whole town revolves around that. It's crazy. And it shows the good side of it and the bad side of it, which I highly respect. So not only is it unique visually, but it also has great relationships and stuff like that in terms of realism to what it actually is. Plus, this movie is so good. It spawned a whole TV show. That almost never happens. And the TV show has like 5 seasons, all 5 critically acclaimed. So it's crazy how like it created its own universe. Again, revolved around their universe, Texas universe, Heartland USA universe of football. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is mostly a message to like scope those experiences out, because I would have never seen Friday Night Lights, even though it is well regarded. And not only did I see it, and I'm extremely happy I have, because I understand, that mentality. But I saw it in a best possible room, best possible seat, completely by myself. It was crazy. It was like a freaking experience, you know what I mean? And 42 is next. I'm seeing 42 in like a few days. I'll talk about it. And just the beginning of that is like insane. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, scope out those experiences. Like Sound of Metal, which came out on Amazon, which I told you earlier was my best picture 2020. When I saw it here with my headphones, like you're watching me right now, I was like, damn, I wish I saw this in the theater, because it revolves around sound. Same thing with Sound of Violence, the horror movie I just recommended. And it is. Like, some theaters here are playing it, and it's not an exclusive deal, but they're doing it out of their grace, if you will. So gotta go, man. I gotta see it again. Plus, it'll confirm if it actually is my favorite of 2020, between that, Judas and the Black Messiah, and Croods 2, which I am serious about. That's pretty much it. We did it. Last thing, man, the 3-minute events were so good. Can't wait. And I got 3 because, first of all, I missed 3 streams because I was at a animation festival, which I'll talk about more tomorrow, as well as the bad news, which I told you at the beginning. No Army of the Dead. Okay, I watched the first half, and I wasn't feeling it, man. I was really not liking it. Could have been me, right? But it's mostly because of Zack Snyder's interviews, where he says a lot of things that I don't like about his mentality. And there's a few other flaws, but I'll talk about it. I'll finish it tonight, and I'll talk about it tomorrow, for sure. And tomorrow, as well, very exciting, is Adventure Time Distant Lands. Also late on that, like 5 days. But it's the newest Adventure Time episode. There's only 4. It's like 4 40 minutes epilogue. This is the ending, you know what I mean? And the first one was BMO, which is the little Game Boy thing. The second one was Marceline. Marceline and Princess Bubblegum, and about their lesbian relationship. Extremely good. But this is it. This is the one that's about Finn and Jake. This is the ending to Finn and Jake's story, or at least as far as we know, because there's one more episode, and it could be months from now. They like do them. There's one every 4 months. It's pretty ridiculous scheduling. I forget what it's called, but Adventure Time, Distant Lands, the newest episode. So yeah, that Army of the Dead tomorrow. as well as talking about like cinematic experiences going at that festival. That's why I've been streaming, is because all day I've been sitting in a room watching over 150 animated shorts. As far as getting them to you, that is mostly impossible. But I'll tell you about the experience and other things. I'll have stuff to show. Finally, this is it, main event. Right before the main event, I read this right before coming on live here with you, and I was like, holy crap, now I gotta share this. This is crazy. They were talking to an actress that filmed one of the last seasons where she's being tortured. Okay, the character is being tortured. She is a small character. So much so, I do not remember that scene, or that character, or that actress. Kind of sad. But yeah, she's strapped in a torture device all day for 10 hours with real life belts holding her, okay, to the point where she has bruises. And she's being waterboarded by Queen Cersei. So she's being like water in her face to, like, you know, waterboarding. It's like a torture method that has been literally outlawed in the United States. They cannot use that anymore because it was viewed as not effective. Point is, this actress had to go through that. And it's so bad. She was talking to another actor. It's like, oh my god, what happened to you today? Right? The guy talking to her. Okay, okay, I've basically just been waterboarded for 10 hours. And then the guy went, mate, I've just been crawling through shit for 4 days on my elbows. You know it's bad. You know it's bad when being waterboarded for 10 hours, which again is outlawed, is literally not that bad. It's like, dude. And she's a woman saying this to a man. The man has the balls to be like, bro, I've been crawling through shit for 4 days. You know what I mean? To him, it's so bad. It's worse than waterboarding, to the point where he has to correct her. Like, you've been having it bad? Listen to my story. You know how, like, that's crazy. It's crazy stuff. So that's the price, right? Game of Thrones is viewed not only for its big budget, but now you see the cost, man. You see the cost of doing a great show like that. And it sucks that I can't remember the scene or the torture, you know what I mean? Life is crazy. Okay, so I got this dog here. That'll be the last one, because I got these two and I realized, okay, first of all, I need to give you more because we've been missing a few days. And these two might not affect you guys. Even though this one was my main one. I was like, bro, I'm doing this because I haven't watched it. I'm like, this is going to be so freaking good. But if you have not seen Aladdin, you will not enjoy this. It's really that simple. The Disney animated film, because these are parodies. Casa Van de Paul, over 1 million views for anything animated within the same month. That's, you know what I mean? There's only a few that achieve that. You got to be top of the top. So I saved it for you. But again, if you haven't seen Aladdin, I got this sneak peek, which is literally 30 seconds for Monsters at Home at Work, which is an animated show of them. Could suck. Don't know. We'll check it out. But again, if you don't care, I got this dog who thinks his leg is trying to steal his bone. Get ready. It's meme time. Doop. Damn it, everything's breaking down. By the way, graffiti soon. At the end of this week, I'll have some new graffiti that are beautiful. I was scoping them out in between showcases. Okay, here we go. We're starting with Aladdin. So if you haven't seen Aladdin, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you will be spoiled. Yeah, so be it. Here we go. I'm so excited for this. They did like Last of Us, but usually they do Disney animated film. Yes, Super Nintendo versus Genesis. I grew up with the Super Nintendo one. Pretty much. Super Saiyan. Get it. It's crazy that the genie like shows up so far along into the story. He's the most remembered part. Yes. Wow, that Will Smith. Again, these live up always to the hype. There's a reason it's this big. Is that a Rick and Morty car joke? I think it is. Jasmine, man, best princess. S tier. Independent. Badass. This is gonna get me muted.
You can open my eyes. Take me
Remix.
wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under.
This is Gilbert Gottfried. I'm pissing and shitting and coming. This one is for Pootie.
That's his real voice. I'm sure they paid a cameo to get that. That's so good. That cost him like $100 minimum. He like discovered his sexuality. I can't believe that moment. No way, we gotta see that again. It's that good stuff.
A new fantastic point of view.
No one to tell us.
Again, can't beat this. I mean, you can, but again, he is consistent with his work. I highly recommend the Last of Us. So The Last of Us recap. Just look for the cartoon icon. Exact same style. I forget if he's mind controlled like that in the end. The Sultan. Okay, so that's Aladdin. Next, sneak peek. This is 30 seconds. We're in, we're out. Let's go.
They're putting you two in charge.
You're kidding.
It's laughter we're after.
You're no longer hiring
looks exactly like the film.
Scarers are out. Jokesters
High
are
budget.
in. Report to MIFT. What exactly is MIFT?
Now you've done it.
The Monsters Inc. facilities team.
M-I-F-T.
If a machine needs maintenance, we maintain it. Now.
Yo, the B
Nobody
team.
saw nothing. Well, nobody saw nothing.
The freaking janitors, man. That's what I do. I'm in like the back halls of a hotel. You know, we take care of the place so you don't know we're there, you know? But that's awesome. The high budget of the quality of the animation is insane. Like, it looks exactly like Monster University. Like, this is not easy. You know what I mean? This takes time. It takes 3 years to make one of these. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that. I'll wait for the reviews as always. Okay, here we go. Dog thinks his leg. Again, the quality is crap because it's a 10-year-old video. That's how it goes. You just gotta wait for it. It takes like 10 seconds.
So we'll do one more sequence.
What gets me is the viciousness. And the speed. He bites it so quick the camera can't even capture it. This is the crazy part. He bites hard, man. The shake. So my guess is that that's like a mangy dog. Like, he's been living on the streets. And like every time he's eaten, he's had to fight for his food. So much so that he does not get to enjoy his food without fighting with something. In this case himself, his own paw. It's crazy. And he bites so hard that you're like, he must be hurting. He's like, I fucked up my own leg. I'm sure the owners stop him every time. But man, it's crazy stuff. That's it, baby. Tomorrow, like I said, we're doing Army of the Dead and Adventure Time. That's a big twofer. And like I said, I scheduled a thing all week. Next Sunday, I got a concert of video game music. It's my first concert in Corona times. They got less than 1/3 of the amphitheater to be filled, which is sad. Like imagine you're making this music. You've been waiting for a year to make music for people, and instead of like 1,000, you're just gonna have like 50 people. 50 people with masks. And I went to one of these. I went to a Final Fantasy one a year back, and they're extremely polite. There is no cheering unless like a song is over, and then you get some awkward, like, it's like all us young nerds get like turn into like 70-year-olds that are watching classical music. You know, we're all sitting there all polite, having watched like, you know, the Sephiroth metal team. It's like it doesn't quite work. But I can't wait to tell you all about it. Plus, it's a mix of video game music, so it's going to be a little bit of like Mario, a little bit of Zelda, a little bit of everything. Some Halo in there. So I'm extremely excited about that. But yeah, movies all week. Like I said, I got 42. We got to watch this. Horror week continues, man. Thankfully, A Quiet Place Part 2 got pushed back, which means I got more time to watch the ones I want to watch. The Djinn, Saint Mode, and there's a third one I'm forgetting. And this Friday, as well as A Quiet Place Part 2, Cruella is coming out from Disney, live action. And the buzz from Emma Stone, which is the main actress, and the movie itself is really high. So yeah, I'll go see those two on Friday if possible. And I also got one last thing that's insane. I am going to see like a war movie from the 80s. I forget the name of it, but apparently it's like one of the most brutal war movies ever made. It's made in like Turkey or something. But people who have seen it call it like the end-all be-all of brutal war movie. You know what I mean? So I'm seeing that in a theater, so that should be a little insane. And there's a few others. Anyway. Just keeps going, keeps rolling, you know what I mean? But yeah, so, oh yeah, Switch. I'm also going to be streaming some Switch games for the first time for the foreseeable future, because, yeah, I got my things connected, everything works. The first one we'll do is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker DLC, which not only a lot of people played Captain Toad, but know that the DLC even exists. It's 5 levels. I'm expecting some high quality stuff, because this is made by the same team who does Mario Odyssey. They took a break, did Captain Toad, and DLC for this game would not exist if the team was like, bro, I got this great idea for this level. We gotta do it. So yeah, pay for that DLC. I got it, and I'll show it to you guys, as well as my first time playing them as well. So it should be exciting. That's tomorrow after tomorrow. So yeah, big things coming up as always, and like, I know how I'll succeed at this thing. Like, it's obvious to me. It's I need to edit YouTube videos. None of this face bullshit. None of this. This is practice, and it's good for the future. You know what I mean? Because once I get you on respecting my opinion on a edited YouTube channel in which you do not see my face talking about all these things every day, if not like every few days, from a place of merit, will win out in the end. But first, I need to edit those YouTube videos. I got this series called Never Forget. I got multiple series in the works, but Never Forget is going to be the one that is easy to make. It's like 2-3 minutes per video. It's about a specific subject that I know about that I do not want you to ever forget. So these are big time things. Best example I have off the top of my head, Invincible. Invincible Season 1, the best scene the most important scene in Invincible. And this will stand for multiple seasons, and it's not the T scene. I'm not even gonna say what it is, but it's not the T scene. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's the baseball scene. The baseball scene in Invincible is something we should never forget. I'll tell you why, and it'll all be edited and spruced up and sexy. That will keep going, because that's my only way I'll succeed. There we go. See you soon.